Hey everybody, how you all doing today? I am Eric Anderson. This is the Grid Grooves channel, and believe me, I'm very excited to be here today. And here's why. Because we are taking this same idea of getting out of the I always play the same rhythms rut, and we're just using the grid grooves to show you some ways that you could do this, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to recall or go back and watch last week's video, because it showed actually how you could play 4 rhythms, which are the rhythms that I run through the grid groove. And then we use the same 8th note ostinato in those 4 rhythms. So that's like the foundation. And then in last week's video in particular, I showed you 4 different ways that you could play the same 8th note ostinato. So when all was said and done, I showed you that you could take whatever collection of rhythms that you got, we'll say that you got 4, and when you add these variations of the 8th note ostinato, you could actually create 20 different personalities, grooves, feels. It's like, I don't even know what the right word is to describe that sensation of that collection of, really to describe somebody's style, or like to me it's the personality of the rhythms. So what I'm asking you though, more than anything, is if you got that really cool word that I'm lacking, would you put it down below in the comments? Because I want a more gooder vocabulary, and on this particular issue, my vocabulary actually runs kind of short. So that's where we were at last week. We talked about how we could add personality to the same rhythms with the hi-hat, and as you saw when I opened up, today we're going to take a look at how to add more personality to the same rhythms while playing the ostinato on the ride cymbal. So before we launch into that, I need to share this perspective with you, because it really is a foundational perspective for breaking yourself out of the rut. And here it is. We as drummers do not play cymbals and drums. What we actually play is the drumsticks and the pedals. And let me explain to you what I mean, because you go back and you take a look at last week's video, and you take a look at what's going to come up in this video. And if you pay very close attention to my drumsticks and to my pedals throughout all these different grid grooves, you're going to hear different things. But if you watch what my hands, what my sticks, and if you listen to what my pedals are doing, you're going to hear real quick that for the most part, I'm not changing the rhythms that I'm playing. I'm actually playing the exact same rhythms with the drumsticks and with the pedals. Like last week, I changed it a little bit because I would put accents on the beat, right? And then accents off the beat, and then I would open the hi-hat on and off the beat, but I still continued to play the same 8th note ostinato pattern. So I changed the way that I was playing the same thing instead of changing what I was playing. That's huge, because that applies to every single thing that we do with the drum set. And that distinction between playing the sticks and pedals and playing the sticks and pedals on the drum set, that's how you change your style and your personality on the drum set. You don't have to do this massive overhaul of the way that you play. You could start just by changing the way that you play what you're currently playing. And that's what today's video is centered on. So like from last week's video, we showed you 4 variations on the hi-hat. So here we go with some math again. We're going to play the same 4 rhythms that we ran through last video's grid. We're going to use the same ostinato, but we're going to use the same ostinato on the hi-hat instead of on the ride cymbal instead of the hi-hat. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to show you 4 different variations. So if you go 4 times 5, now you have another 20 more personalities, variations, styles, rhythm, or grooves, whatever you want to call them, built off of the same 4 fundamental rhythms that we've been playing. So what I'm going to do today, right, is that, so here's the, there's the beat. So the first 2 things I'm going to do, I'm going to play the same 8th note ostinato with the stick playing the bell of the cymbal on the beat and the cymbal itself off the beat. So you get this. And then I'm just going to move that over to the splash cymbal on the beat. Right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the same ostinato, but I'm going to put the 8th notes on the bell, and then I'm going to put the off the beat 8th notes on the bell, and then on the splash. So you're going to hear something more like this. Right? So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to start here with the on the beat bell followed by the on the beat splash, and I'm just going to play them back to back, and I'm going to run the same grid groove that I ran at the beginning of the video. I'm going to run it right here now. So here we go. Again, the metronome is set at 100 beats a minute, so let's see. Okay, let me try that again. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So here we go. So let me try that again. Okay, and things got a little messy on me there. Sorry about that, but sometimes that's exactly what happens in the live environment, so you just keep playing through it. So with that being done, let's try the 8th notes off the beat on the bell first and then on the splash cymbal. So here we go. We've got the metronome. Here we go. So So there you have it, right? 4 more variations that you can play the 8th note ostinato over the same 4 rhythms. So let's do like this combined math. And for me personally, this is a big blow up, and this is why I'm so excited about sharing this with you. 4 basic rhythms. We came up with the first ostinato, which is like the fundamental part, the fundamental ostinato that you're working with, and then we came up with 4 rhythms. The initial ostinato and then 4 variations to it. That makes 20 different personalities, feels, grooves, styles that you can bring out with just your hi-hat. And then we did another the same 4 rhythms, the same ostinato, 4 different variations between the ride cymbal, between the bell, the ride cymbal, and your splash, excuse me. And we just came up with another 20. So just off of those same 4 rhythms, there's actually 40 different personalities, grooves, rhythms, personalities, grooves, styles, whatever you want to call it. I will guarantee you, my friends, that if you just double down on what you play right now and explore creative ways just to work your ostinato around the drum set in any creative, imaginable way that you can think of, you can completely change the way the same rhythm sounds just by changing the instruments that you play the rhythm on. Because as I said in the beginning, there is a big difference between playing the drumsticks and the pedals and playing these on the drums and cymbals. And this is what we do, we play these. So just get creative in the way that you orchestrate your ostinatos around the drum set while you play the same rhythms, and watch what happens. Your personality, your style on the drum set will change. With these 40 variations that I just showed you right now, literally, I could play a 4-hour gig with these 40 variations and nobody, including the band members, would think that I played the same thing for 4 hours. But fundamentally, that's exactly what would happen. Let me give you like just one quick story of how this actually happened to me in real time. I was out with a guy a couple of years ago. We were playing at a casino in Northern California, and he decided that one of the songs that he wanted to do in his set list was Mustang Sally. Yep, that song that a lot of people that play in cover bands will roll their eyes at every time they hear it because they're sick and tired of playing it, but then they go out and they play it anyways. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and record this song, and caught a video of it. And as we played, I tried like one of these variations that I showed you, and then I tried another one, and then I realized the song's not ending, so I tried a third one, and then I went to a fourth one, and I started exploring all these different variations of primarily just the ostinato. Later in the song, I even started changing like what the snare drum was doing to add more and more variety to the exact same rhythm. Because you're playing a particular song, so you don't get to take a lot of liberties of throwing all kinds of cool rhythms into it, because it would completely disrupt the song. So here's where this idea right here of this video and the last video really saves your bacon, to be honest with you. We played that song for 11 straight minutes. I mean, like, I recorded it, and I was curious about that song as to just how long we were on. We were on that song for 11 straight minutes, playing the same rhythm for 11 straight minutes. Now, if all I did was just, as an example, for 11 minutes, I would want to go out behind the building and punch myself in the throat for playing that same rhythm that long. It's like, it's not in me to sit there and just do the same thing like that. So I'll start exploring different ways, opening the hi-hat off the beat, playing on the bell off the beat, playing on the splash cymbal on the beat the next time around, and just looking for more creative ways to play the ostinato around my drum set. So my friends, this isn't just a theory kind of thing, like, oh, okay, that's a nice idea. No, I'm actually serious about this. If you want to change the way a song grooves while it's going on, just work on orchestrating your ostinatos to different parts of your drum set, and watch how the personality of the rhythm, the personality of the song, and watch it changes, and watch how the audience reacts to it. Because a large part of the reason that we played that song for 11 minutes is because the audience would not sit down. They kept dancing. And it's like the first law of live performance to me is, right, especially like in a cover band format, if you can keep them moving for 11 minutes, they get thirsty. And when they get thirsty, what do? They go to the bar and they buy themselves a beer, or they buy themselves a drink, or they do whatever, which means they put money in the bar's pocket, which is the reason that the bar brought the cover band in to begin with, to make the audience thirsty, to get them to buy more drinks. So it's kind of a vicious circle, but that's kind of the game. It's the way the game is played. And by keeping them up for 11 minutes, believe me, there were quite a few people that walked over to the bar right afterwards, which is cool for us because it scores cool points for us as a band. So my goal here was to help you see more ways that you can become creative with what you play instead of trying to change and add to what you play. Because you can see that from these 4 rhythms between last week's video and this week's video, we now have 40 different rhythms. Oops, wait a minute, 40 different rhythms. There's 40. I shouldn't say rhythms, but personalities, styles, feels, grooves, call it whatever you want, that you can bring to bear on any given song without changing the 3 or 4 rhythms that you normally play, right? So did I reach that goal? Did I give you more ideas to work with? Did I give you great stuff to go into the woodshed and start grinding out so that you can unlock, so you can break yourself out of this rut and bring more style to your band, to your drumming, and to your audience? If I did, my friends, do me a favor. Give me a like. Definitely hit that subscribe switch wherever it's at around here. Definitely, more than anything though, on the like side, share this with somebody else, because I would love for more drummers and more musicians as a whole to see this and to latch onto this idea and start to explore and experiment the way you can play one drumstick around the drum set and see how it changes the way a song feels. If I did not hit this mark, and I'm cool with that, do me a favor, leave me a comment down below specifically outlining what exactly I missed or what you still do not understand, because believe me, I will circle back around and put together a video that specifically addresses the question or the issue that you have. Because ultimately the purpose behind the Grid Groove system and the purpose behind these videos combined is to share information that will help you grow as a musician that plays the drums. So that really is my rumor, and I'm sticking to it. My name is Eric Anderson. This is the Grid Grooves channel. It was great to be here today. I'm excited about the next video, and I am out of here.